And welcome back to our weekly Icarus Patchnotes discussion. I'm here with Carl, with Echo. Carl is gonna be joining a bit later, so I'm gonna swap back to Discord. Hiya, how you doing?
Hiya, I'm alright. How was you?
Not bad, not bad. It's
Good, good, good.
Friday night, Icarus update, Patchnotes, gameplay, so I'm quite good. And it's weekend as well, yeah.
Alrighty. Cool, cool. Um, can you zoom in once more, please?
There you go.
That's perfect.
Good. So we are week 190. We have the Great Hunt fixes, like updates,
Yep.
improvements, and fixes for the Great Hunt.
Sweet.
So we got updates, balance improvements, and fixes in this week's patch for the recently, i.e. last week, released Great Hunts. Now week 190 brings our customary week 1 patch after a major expansion. It has been live for a week. A few bugs and stuff have popped up. They have fixed it in this week's update.
Yep.
So the reception to Great Hunts has been awesome, so we're happy to bring you an array of tweaks and improvements and catch a few bugs that slipped through the cracks. And expect more bugs for Great Hunts, more bug fixes I should say, next week. We have also some details on the two hotfixes that went out last weekend, in case you missed those. And finally, we've got details on next week's update, as we keep moving towards the week 200 milestone. Yeah, we are at week 190.
Yep.
10 more weeks and then we get week 200.
Yep. Nice.
So, this week, Great Hunt's week 1 update. As is a tradition, the week after a major expansion or update is reserved for a week 1 patch, where we address any bugs, imbalances, or issues that may have slipped through the cracks when releasing it. Now here are some of the key fixes and balances you find in this week's update. They've added incendiary sniper ammo for the anti-material rifle available from the Orbital Workshop. Um, this one is from the Tusk, I believe, the big sniper rifle.
Okay.
We fixed buildings and deployables placed in instanced levels that were not being registered to the correct biome in the weather controller. So you build it in a desert biome, and then, for example, it thinks it's in a forest or something.
Okay.
We fixed a bug with Outpost Veteran and Outpost Builder Steam achievements, where they could be granted incorrectly on open world prospects. So it didn't look like, hey, are you playing in an outpost? No, it was looking at some key things like, hey, have you done this and that, and not looking at outposts. So it could be granted in an open world. This has now been fixed.
Okay.
Fix an NPC dialogue not playing at the end of the Ape B mission due to a boolean default value being set to played. So yeah, there's not a NPC dialogue. So I'm glad I fixed that before we started playing the Ape mission, which is on sticks.
Yeah.
Black Wolf armor did not allow alterations, even though it was planetside crafted. This has now been fixed as well.
Good.
The legendary bow, this is the Sandworm crossbow I think, or is there another bow? I'm not sure. But the fortified grip attachment made it so if you like right clicked with a bow, it did not use any stamina. It will now. The Frostbreaker, that sounds like an unlock through missions, but maybe using Ruimtusk parts. It did not use any stamina when you were blocking with it. This has now been fixed as well. The gauntlet image on the Great Hunt selection buttons has been fixed. They
Okay.
were incorrectly displaying. Now they are correctly displaying. Gauntlet might be the quarite gauntlet hammer thingy. I tested it out yesterday. Man, it is mining fast now. I went for melee attack speed. I'm mining faster with a thing than I was mining with a pickaxe, and that says a thing or two.
Wow. Okay.
Remove the Great Hunts module item tag, as they were incorrectly marked as meta items. Not sure what the Great Hunts module does exactly, but it's a planet-side crafted module, like the Ruimtusk module or the Arctic module, whatever it's called. So, yes, it is a module, but no, it's not a meta item because you crafted planet-side, so it has been fixed. Recommitted the connecting overlay, is it almost saved correctly? Not sure, didn't see anything about those. Remove the glow effect from the simple mission cards. I think this is Steam achievements. Or some of the cards is like special cards, glow effect or something. I think that's what they mean here. They removed it
Okay.
from unlike the cards like do this amount of simple missions or so, something to that extent.
Okay. Hi, Carl. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes.
Carl, my man, how you doing?
Extremely tired. Just spent about 2.5 hours cutting the grass, hence I'm late, but it's Friday, so whereabouts in the notes are you guys?
We're
About
going through the key fixes and balances in the Great Hunts Week 1 update. So we're still
Cool.
yeah.
at the top.
We're about a dozen points, bullet points down.
Alright, cool.
Added some UI fixes for prospect outcomes, so that at various scaling and zoom levels, the outcome text does not overlap. Like if you play on 720p, for example, like very small screen, then text will be larger, and
All
text is like running over other text, etc. This has now been fixed.
Yeah, that's good. That makes sense.
Swapped the tier 3 cleaner. Dropped the mesh to use the machining bench kit. Dropped the mesh to use machining bench kit. I don't know, maybe if you repair it, it gives a different sound now. Tier 3 cleaner, by the way, is the biofuel bio cleaner thingy.
Mm-hmm.
They hooked up an optional water connection for processing speed to the biofuel cleaner. Now, it already had, in the tooltip, it already said like, hey, connect water to it so it speeds up, you know, like the biofuel composter and the cement mixer, etc. But there was no water connection on the biofuel cleaner, so you couldn't hook it up. They have now fixed this, you can now hook up water connection to the tier 3 cleaner. We now allow broken weapons to open the radial ammo menu so that loaded ammo can be unloaded without having to first repair. So if it was like fully broken, you couldn't unload it, and then you still had a full magazine or almost full magazine of ammo in that weapon and you couldn't get it out. Here's a thing, and this is actually something I have to put in feature upvote. If you don't have a stack of this ammo in your inventory, you cannot unload your weapon. I noticed this yesterday. I put away all the ammo and then I was like, okay, I have multiple assault rifles. I'm gonna unload one. I couldn't. I had to put some assault rifle ammo in my inventory in order to actually unload the weapon.
Ah, yeah.
So,
No, that's not very handy.
no. So, I kind of forgot last night to put it in feature upvote. It was that late. So I'll still have to do that. The first ape mission, Garganoton mission, Fix the base cleanup to not clean up half the base immediately and the water after a delay. Added cleaning up of the NPCs as well. Something to keep in mind, apparently this base is going to be cleaned up at some point. So grab all the goodies from the base, basically.
Okay.
Small pouches are now crafted with raw materials and paints, like the colored ones, rather than using the base pouch and paints. This is to avoid players using their pouches with items in crafting recipes, which results in loss of items. So basically, if you want to make a red pouch, or a blue or a green, you have to use a standard pouch. You had to use a standard pouch and paint to make it. Anything what was in the standard pouch disappeared. In order to avoid this from happening, you no longer make a red pouch with a standard pouch and paint. No, you straight away craft a red pouch.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few people reporting this actually, like, hey, I had stuff in a pouch, I gave it a color, now all the stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Which is especially painful if you have a lot of workshop items in the pouch.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they came up with a way to avoid this from happening. Fix an issue on Great Hunt Arena entrances where clients would not see the returns in XX seconds interact prompt. Now I am wondering, like, I killed a Quarite boss last night. In order to get all the loot, I had to drop a bunch of ammo. Because I ran out of slots. So then I went out of the and I'm glad I did it that way though, because when I went out of the cave, out of the arena, and like put all the loot in the buffalo cart, I wanted to go back into the arena to grab any ammo that had not been that had not disappeared yet, but I could not get back into the arena. I did not get any message. So this might be like, hey, you can do the final fight over and over again, but you have to wait an X amount of time. I hope that is the case though, because I was looking at like, hey, stuff I could make with the loot from the boss. Like I got Quarite cores. It's like first time I actually got those. You need them for a number of items. You can also turn them into biomass, but you also need it for a number of items. You need boss vestiges to make a couple of items, decorative items. So maybe you can redo the boss to farm more materials.
Yeah.
But it does make sense. You can't do it straight away. It takes like, I don't know, an hour or so before it comes back. But this is something I will have to check on my solo open world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense that you can't recall the boss immediately.
Yeah. Like things like sandworms and black wolves, they come back after an hour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Is that game time or IRL?
IRL, real time.
Okay.
And you actually get a countdown. There is some info about this countdown in the patch notes later on. There is a countdown stating like, hey, it's gonna take this amount of time before this black wolf spawns back in. So looking at that, it does stand to reason that you would be able to redo the, in my case, Quarite final boss over and over again, but with a delay.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Regarding the Rhymetusk Arena, the final Rhymetusk boss, they removed collision on many of the lower hanging waterfall icicles to address the boss creature running into the icicles and not being able to reach his location to regenerate armor.
Oh man, that sucks.
Well, it sucked for him. No, it sucked for us. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it still
it does make
sucks.
the boss fight a lot more challenging. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I
okay.
am telling you. So you think you're ready? Look at your preparations you've made. Double those preparations. Then double them once more. Then you might be ready for the boss fight.
This
Yeah,
sounds
so it
very
has to.
familiar because I mean I recall you saying we need to over prepare for a certain mission as well, and it wasn't the end of the earth, but we were prepared, but not like yeah. I mean there's a limit to what you can be prepared.
Yeah,
So
but now I'm asking you, were we over prepared for that mission?
No.
well, I mean, it was the one. I mean, no, because I mean, we had like turrets and stuff like that. But if you didn't have the turrets and you had constant waves coming in, or you didn't have the spikes on the walls, or you had a double layer spike kind of stuff, and you just had,
Hmm,
the most basic stuff, it would have been significantly harder, correct? But that was
exactly.
because it was a base. If this is actually just kill big animal, that means equals bring a bunch of guns and healing kits and healing salves and every each weapon that exists in existence, then that should be pretty much,
Yeah.
ready to go as is.
I
Yeah,
went
you
through like
you
a stack and a half or 2 stacks of the top end healing
I,
elixirs
oh, is it?
yesterday.
Okay,
Yes.
interesting. All right, well, we'll see.
It was very nice and challenging. Definitely. It was
yeah,
tough,
but
yes,
then
but I look at it from the point of it was a nice challenge.
yeah, but then you're limited to how what you can carry based on how many slots you've got.
True. And I basically, the only things I had in my inventory was food, a canteen, weapons, and tons of ammo, and some healing items.
Yeah.
And I loaded up my entire inventory with this.
I mean, it's helped by the fact that we can now have pouches the
Yes,
um
but question is, do
within
you
the
have
inventory
time?
that
Do you have time during the fights to open the pouch and grab stuff from within the pouch?
probably not if you're solo.
Exactly. But it was a lot of fun. But anyway, let's continue.
Okay.
They fixed the issue where the legendary weapon stat comparison widget would break in the biolab after upgrading a slot. Comparison widget. Huh. I don't think I've used a comparison widget, so I wouldn't have noticed it be broken. But if you can like compare the stats before and after applying a certain upgrade, don't forget the upgrades to the legendary weapons are fakes, as in once you put it on, you cannot take it off anymore. So
Yeah.
be very conscious about which update you put on your weapon. You cannot change this later on. You have to buy a new weapon, which will cost you another license, by the way. So, yeah. Um, a comparison widget would be very handy then indeed. So I'm glad I fixed that one. When it comes to the Steam achievements, apparently a bunch of them had the Galileo feature lock still on them instead of the Copernicus. Galileo was like the previous big update. Removed Galileo feature lock on achievements, which may have been preventing unlocking achievements in Steam for anything introduced in Copernicus. Now, the one which you two did, kill a deer with a hand grenade, that's one of the OG achievements. I had that one like 2 years ago already. That was not introduced in Copernicus, so that is why you were able to get them. Copernicus introduced like what 87 or so achievements. Not all of them were awarded properly, because apparently some of them had a Galileo feature level lock on it. Galileo, by the way, was that? What was in the Galileo? Was that
Can't
the
remember.
introduction of? No, not the Prometheus map. Galileo was a separate update, wasn't it?
Was
Um,
Galileo not the like the grasslands part of the map in six?
Let's see, there was week 78. Fishing, bestiary and achievements. Oh no, there was a big update where they introduced fishing, where they introduced the bestiary and where they actually introduced achievements. That was the Galileo update. Where they introduced it. But there was base games. Everyone should have Galileo then. So I'm not sure why it was still blocking stuff then. But yeah, I've seen quite a few people complaining like, hey, the Steam achievements aren't being awarded properly, and that should have been fixed now with this update. Um, certain achievements, let's rephrase this, like there are unlocks based on missions. Even if you have done those missions already, those items will not be unlocked. You will have to redo those missions, i.e. start new open worlds. If you have done those missions on your open world already. Achievements, they should now be awarded as soon as you log into the game. So after the gameplay, you look at your Steam, you might all of a sudden see a bunch of achievements popping up. And the next one, this is a big one for me, and actually I've seen quite a few people complain about this. Fix an issue where explosive rounds weren't getting cleaned up properly, potentially causing performance issues over a play session. Well, remove that potentially. We have seen it when we were fighting the Hammerhead Slug, where the game turned into a slideshow, remember?
Indeed, but it's an odd way that they're wording it because so
Apparently
they're
there was some
referring to
kind
the
of effect,
yeah, the
explosive effect.
explosion effect is an unloading. It does make
Yeah,
sense if you think about it from that perspective. So I do have a
exactly.
bunch of shotgun shells, explosive shotgun shells, especially because we've been nerfing ourselves but not using it because we know it destroys the game.
Exactly.
So now that we can use explosive shotgun shells again, it should be significantly easier, especially considering how OP and shotgun is with
Uh,
explosive shotgun shells.
as long as you don't find on point blank range, that is.
Exactly. Echo does not get explosive shotgun shells.
Actually, I was looking through
Aw.
some items
No,
the other day, and there was one, whether it was a module or an attachment or whatever, which gave like 90% explosive protection. I think we have to make that stuff for Echo.
but here's the thing. We get 100% explosive protection if we don't give Echo explosive shells.
True.
That sounds
Well, um,
No, Echo
the
gets 100%
yeah.
shotgun shell defense because if I don't have them.
I mean, the thing is, if you don't give Echo explosive shells, we're not only protecting her against explosive damage, but also us.
Oh, gee, thanks, guys, in your confidence.
I have all the confidence in the world that
Yeah.
I will get shot by Echo with explosive shells. I know that for a fact. It's happened, you know, it's almost happened and
Exactly.
guaranteed. So
I'm gonna tell mommy you've been horrible
no,
to me.
we love you, Echo. We love you, but we concerned about you, but a little bit more concerned about our own lives. So just a little bit, just a smidget.
Well, look, I'm already the animal magnet. Leave me alone.
Correct. No,
Exactly.
that's
That's
also
your function. It's not your function to kill us. It's your function to
Yeah, but
attract animals.
hey, it would stand to reason if I'm the animal magnet and they always aggro on me, then I should be the only one with, with explosive shells.
well, the problem is they end up being on top of you because they're gnawing at your ankles. So using explosive shells at close proximity isn't going to be a good idea regardless. But you know we have options.
Yeah. But yeah, I did the Quarry boss last night, and I had to resort to explosive shells because it had a weakness to explosive, and I wasn't doing enough damage with normal ammo. Um, I started the arena with 100 plus FPS. I ended it on 20 FPS. It was not fun, the last part.
Well, it's something
I
we're
mean, it
definitely
was
going to be
fun, but
tasting.
it was definitely not not a good thing. It is easily tested. I tested this before, like stand still, look at me FPS, fire an explosive shotgun shell, look at the FPS again and see it has dropped. So it's rather easily tested. Just
Yeah.
empty out a magazine, a clip of explosive shotgun shells, and then so that's good
Yeah.
news. Explosive rounds will no longer be banned from a multitude of prospects.
No,
Like
they'll
I said,
just
there
be
were a
banned.
lot of people
Just
complaining, quite a few people complaining about this.
yeah. No, they'll just be banned to me.
Exactly. Let's see, they added new ammo type in the workshop for the anti-material rifle. They added incendiary rounds. These rounds also scale the damage of the fire damage which is applied to targets. Damage over time.
Okay.
Anti-material rifle is the sniper rifle, the 50 cal, which is the Ruimtusk. The Ruimtusk one.
Mission. Yeah. Okay.
That mounts with items in their inventory now persist between game reloads. So if your mount does die, like all the contents of the cell, in the cell itself by the way, go into an overflow bag, the same with a buffalo, the cards, etc. If you don't pick it up and you reload the game, it was gone. The overflow bag. No longer, it now persists between game reloads. This is good. The loot retrieval now works at a distance of 15 meters instead of 4 meters. So a bigger radius. Handy if your killer camps your body. And the loot retrieval now no longer places the loot bags halfway into the ground if the player is crouching while they use it. Like I said, the bear which killed you is camping your body, so you like crouch and you go towards your body and you like retrieve the loot. And, actually not retrieve the loot, but hit escape and then hit loot retrieve. Retrieve loot, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So you can do it from slightly further away, you don't have to go up all the way up to your loot bag. If you did it whilst crouching, apparently the loot bag was like spawning halfway into the ground or something. Which
Okay.
might actually, thinking about it, which might cause you to fall through the world. And then it is bye-bye loot.
Lost. Yeah. Lost for good.
Yeah, restore an older version of the prospect, so you will lose up to 30 minutes gameplay, but hey. Depending on how important this loot is to you. I can understand if I'm like fully kitted out, I might roll back 30 minutes. If I lose a full set of like tier 4 weapons and armor and tools and everything, and I've just been emptying out a couple of exotic drills, so I have like 200 exotics in my inventory, then it might be worth rolling back to the last backup.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is just a small selection of the adjustments. See the full list in the patch notes below, which we will look at. Also, thanks to everyone who shared their feedback and their experiences on Discord and feature upvote. Now, we did have 2 hotfixes this weekend. Some things are too important to wait for a weekly update, so sometimes we do publish hotfixes. And I think this is the first time they published 2 hotfixes, like the day after. 2 hotfixes were pushed over the weekend. One on Friday and one on Sunday. Here a couple of the details below from the Friday one. Ruimtusk campaign mission field work. They fixed an issue in the field work campaign where the mission could not be completed due to the objective asking for an item that no longer exists in Icarus to be crafted and placed. So a hard block of the campaign mission. Now the thing is, once you log into a certain path of the campaign mission, you can't go back and choose the other part. It does like, so you're basically stalled. You can't continue with the mission. You can't finish this quest step, you can't finish this mission. So basically the whole Rhymetusk campaign is like, sorry mate, you can't complete it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a hotfix. And the Sunday hotfix, Gargantuan boss and some achievement fixes, especially the Gargantuan boss. Again, you can choose multiple paths in the campaign, giving you multiple effects. Now, one path leads to the Bloodthirst mission, which gives the Gargantuan, or making the fight, the final boss fight, require fire of explosive damage instead of just regular ammo melee. Now, if you chose this path before the hotfix, it meant it only took 1 or 2 damage, a single point or 2 points of damage, when you shot with normal ammo, or when you hit it with melee. Good luck killing this boss that way.
Yeah.
It's basically impossible. You will
Mhm.
die long before he even starts to develop a limp. So
Yeah.
that has been corrected in the hotfix. Again, this basically made it impossible to kill the Gargantuan boss if you went through the Bloodthirst path. So yeah, definitely worth a hotfix. They, in the same hotfix, whilst they were at it, they fix an issue preventing the client from properly communicating with Steam to check off achievements. Now this has something to do, I believe, with if a player was riding a mount. At the moment the boss was killed, the player did not get the achievement for killing the boss. Not the biggest issue, however, it would mean you had to like kill the boss again if you wanted to get the achievement. So any existing achievements that players have gained will sync up and be granted on Steam on login after last Sunday's hotfix.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, this one we know, Karel.
What
The
is it?
Druomoko base is the first one in the null sector.
Yes, this is still getting eaten by Demon Jaws.
Stone Jaws.
Yeah.
Stone Jaws. Actually, here's the thing interesting for the null sector. On the Corite mission campaign, I took the path which unlocked the Blackweave armor and backpack. If you wear the Blackweave armor and backpack, you have a 100%, so effectively 99% hunger and thirst reduction. Meaning, in normal gameplay, you only would have to eat and drink once in a blue moon. And especially the drink part in the volcanic part of the null sector. I mean, it has like a plus 500% thirst increase. At least it now takes 100% of that, so like 20% reduction or mitigates 20% of the null sector effects. And for the food in the ice sheet, however, the Blackweave armor has a negative cold resistance, so you're not gonna wear that one in the Arctic, but definitely in the first part of the null sector. That might be a very good armor set to use. Just saying. Next week we're getting an electric fireplace. Now a couple of weeks ago the biofuel fireplace was introduced. Like you had the tier 2 stone one. A couple of weeks ago they introduced the tier 3 biofuel one.
Mhm.
Next week we'll be adding the new electric fireplace. The tier 4 option. Similar to the biofuel fireplace. But this one you connect to your power grid rather than requiring a manual fuel source. And no, Karel, it will not have parallel processing.
Oh, it's just the fire pit in my opinion, but carry on.
Yeah, we're getting an electric fireplace, tier 4 variant. nice for fancy base buildings. Anyway, your support makes these updates possible. We are back to the pets bundle, which gives you creature comforts pack for extra saddles, food troughs, etc. Pet companions, which gives you extra variants of the cats and dogs, which will give you the actual horsey as a pet, etc. And the zebra rescue mission, which is like the only way to get a zebra as a mount. Or go for the Great Hunts bundle, which includes the Styx DLC, Prometheus DLC, and Great Hunts DLC. So you can like fully appreciate the Great Hunts, all three the campaigns. Or go for the completed set bundle, which basically looks like what don't you have yet, and it will give you everything you don't have yet. This does include all the outposts as well. Anyway, changelog. New content. Enabled two-sided DF generation on the IMP Mountain 02 cave hole mesh used in the M7 Styx cave, as it was suffering heavy shadow artifacts without it. Okay, so basically they made it look better.
Good.
Okay. Lava Hunter Flamethrower. Updated flame bursts VFX have low and high quality light setups. High quality spawning several lights that move with the flames to enhance the effect. Also add server only function for spawning new scorch decal on the ground for the flame burst. Basically shooting lava puddles. Remove get player character logic based off the SK item owner instead, as this resulted in the server player 0 always getting the effect at their feet. Also removes the flame burst and as component that isn't used. Working on the Lava Hunter Flamethrower. The thing weighs a ton. It's a very heavy item. It goes in the bulk slot. I have one. Hey to Dagging, welcome. I've got one, but I haven't really used it. I haven't upgraded it either though, but especially the weight was kinda putting me off, because I'm always having an issue with my weight. As you have seen in the screen print where I was weighing like 100,000 kilos. Biolab UI polish. Fix hover not coloring the button angle. Whatever they mean with that. Fix button tooltip appearing when hovering nearby instead of over. And fix buttons appearing prior to animation playing. Right. Some Biolab UI polishes, good. Adding everything for the advanced Arctic saddle. Ah. Is this one of the new unlocks? I reckon. One of the new unlocks which came with the free part of Great Hunts. Swapping tier 3 cleaner, dropped mesh to use machining bench key, I quickly talked about that. Same with hooking up water connection, processing speed to biofuel cleaner. Added art assets for the Arctic survival saddle. 5 skeleton meshes for the 5 different mount shapes. Yeah, a mower saddle, put it on a on a Tusker. It's gonna sit on top of the Tusker instead of over the Tusker, and the other way around. Take a Tusker shaped saddle, and a mower can use it for shelter. So yeah, I'm glad they added skeleton meshes for all 5 different shapes.
Cool.
Also the icons have been added for Arctic Survival Saddle. Sparkle FX for collectibles. This is the simple mission cards which we talked about. Add use rain droplet shader functionality to health items. This adds a wet look to items which you hold in your hand during rain. Improve tooling to pick up on this better and retain consistency across items. So when you're inside and it's the range outside, you grab a tool, you will see the water droplets on your tool even though you're inside, basically. But it's gonna look better now. This is also important. Fixes. Fix buildings and deployables, place in instant levels, not being registered to the correct biome in the weather controller. We quickly talked about this one already. Let's see. Fix a bug where the hover tooltip would not display the correct weight. Change carry weight stats to be replicated to fix this. This might actually have to do with this is something which I put in as a side note in a bug report, where like I have the 50% or so carry or like I have an X% carry reduction for concrete items on in the multi-tree and like 30% in the solo tree, so totaling 55 or so percent weight reduction. This did not show on the tooltips if I had the concrete pieces in my inventory. The weight itself was properly calculated, but the tooltip did not show this weight reduction. Not the most important thing, but it's nice if they would have fixed this. Fixing armor rack audio, being able to play 6 armor swaps at once when swapping all the armor instead of individually by adding a short cooldown to the event. Okay, so no longer play them one by one, but like play them all 6 simultaneously. I reckon the same like when you use the repair all items in the repair bench, where you have like a whole bunch of them suits playing at once, so it doesn't get dragged out a long time. Good. More reductions to overly long audio events. Good. Reducing event length that was far too long when chopping a whole tree down in one hit. Yeah, come on. It's like it's gone in like one hit. You don't need an event length of 5 seconds for that. Updated sleep screen while rested buff duration to display in minutes instead of seconds, especially if you get like the higher percentages effect and the higher what's the coziness factor. This increases the length of your well rested buff. And nice to know that it's like 1200 seconds. I rather see 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They did do this for like food buffs as well, you know, where they at some point changed it from seconds to minutes. Now they also did it for the well rested buff. Cool. Let's see, any more interesting stuff here? Yeah, UI fixes, we talked about this one as well. For prospect outcomes, set frame scaling and zoom levels, the outcome text does not overlap. Added XP events to the sledgehammer, breaking clay, scoria or obsidian. The sledgehammer might point at the new legendary one. Because as far as I know, but I have to admit I've never actually tested it. But as far as I know, with a normal sledgehammer, if you mine the stuff, you do get the experience. Anyway, remove the glow for the simple mission cards. Sure. Incorrect item weight bug. Change base stats to not replicate. Added replicated virtual stats in the place. Again, the item weight. Now I don't know whether or not this also, whether or not they also did something about the fact that if you put an item in a pouch, weight reduction is no longer be applied. So as soon as I move concrete building pieces into a pouch, they get a full weight again. The same goes for ore. There are talents and equipments and whatever, backpack for example, that reduces the carry weight of ore. As soon as you put the ore in a pouch, they get a full weight again. There is the workshop axe, which give a reduction of wood in your inventory, weight reduction of wood in your inventory. Put it in a pouch, it's full weight again. So pouch removes all weight reduction stats. I'm not sure whether or not
Yeah.
they actually gonna do anything about it. I mean, um, when I talked to the devs about this, they literally said I have to check whether or not it's intentional to not make the pouches too OP. And they kind of have a point there. But
Yeah,
that
but it
is
also
like,
it
huh?
it it also means that you lose inventory slots because you literally
Well,
can't put things that you want to put into pouches.
so you have to choose. Do you want more slots and then be overweight? Or do you want a speed, not being overweight, but then it means you can't put certain stuff in pouches, so you have to keep in your own inventory. I have to say I understand their reasoning. But that's like the last info I got on this, so I don't know whether or not it is intentional. I have no idea. Test it out and keep an eye on the patch notes for this, I would say. Shearing sheep did not grant any bestiary progress, which was supposed to give. It now does grant the bestiary progress. New dropships are now spawned 50 centimeter lower to reduce occurrences of floating dropship legs. The other side does mean that you will now see dropships probably with their feet like buried in the ground. Good luck taking off again, especially if it's like in a rock. But okay. Fix meteor shower master after protection. No idea what I mean here. Sorry. The elemental damage electric had a typo in the stat description. They've been fixed. Good, good. Reducing the bloat from dialogue lines, causing it to play for far too long. I have seen instances where subtitles and audio were like out of sync. Tad annoying, but yeah. Would be nice if they were like able to put them back in sync. Frostbreaker was not using stamina when blocking. We talked about this already. We talked about this. Broken weapons. You had to repair them before you could unload the ammo. This has now been fixed. And a correct dialogue line to play at the end of the Ape C2 mission. Cave from fish poisons being unaffected by resistance stats. This has now been fixed. So now your poison resistance actually does work on both cave worm and fish piranha poisons. Good, good. Update the sustenance tonic to also increase the food buff duration for the duration of the tonic. Especially if the sustenance tonic says like, hey, your food buffs are gonna last longer, then they should last longer.
Okay.
Fix tooltip referencing D&T snipers, change to sniper rifles. Must be the legendary sniper rifle, the 50 cal. Well, no longer called 50 cal though. Removes the reference to the 50 cal and fixes spelling of material. Anti-material rifle. This base cleanup we talked about. Dialogue, not played, we talked about. Adding hover and click to Great Hunt mission upgrade area. Okay. 10 feet extractor. Replaced and deleted old versions of textures with bad source paths. Replaced references in materials. Okay, thanks. Small pouches, the colored small pouches now crafted with raw materials and paints rather than use base pouch with paints. Talked about that one already.
Yeah.
Adjusting the blueprints accordingly. Let's see, any more interesting stuff? For the devs, they added additional logging to help track down missing client account flag rewards for your Steam achievements. Hammerhead Slug, they added missing server checks to prevent the client, so not the server but the client, from spawning a second slug manager and from allowing the client to determine cocoon state. That should be handled by the server. Also, the client should not be spawning a second slug. One is hard enough already. Whew.
we don't
Especially,
mind it. We don't mind it spawning a second slug upon death, which means it would give you extra loot. But hey ho.
well, if it is a dead one, yes. If it's a live one, preferably not. Fix the boss respawn tracking upgrade showing time since last spawn instead of time until respawn. Yeah. So if you kill a black wolf, then the update for the contact device, which actually only acts as a boss tracker, so the same as the boss tracker module from the workshop and attachment to the helmet. You don't need that update for running the missions. But yeah, the respawn tracker was showing the time since the last spawn, so it was like counting up instead of counting down till the next spawn.
Yeah.
Hey Kakorox, how's it going? Going fine here, thanks. How are you doing yourself? Now, fix issue in the Great Hunt arena entrances where the clients wouldn't see the returns in seconds interact prompts. We talked about that one. Tier 3 cleaner. Fix a bug where the water spline was connected about a meter away from the mesh. Move the spline location to be within the mesh bench. Yeah, here's the bench. Connect water. Instead of connecting water here, you connect water, I don't know, somewhere a meter away. That's no good. I'm glad I fixed that. Finished the hunt yet? On my solo last night, I finished the Quarite one. Today in the co-op, we will be continuing the Rime Tusk.
Okay. Yep. Good. Cool. Looking forward to it.
Let's see. The Greaten, removed Greaten item tags, module item tags that were marked as meta items. They were not, we talked about that. Adding ability for damage over time modifiers damage to be scaled by the course's stats. Like couple of those, like all about the same issue. Like if you have like an increase in the fire damage percentage, then your fire damage over time should be increased as well. Oh, you're doing the Rime Tusk as well currently, Olympus Prometheus. Yeah, we'll be doing it after the patch notes in the subsequent gameplay. We will continue our Rime Tusk run.
Yeah, but without Fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, apparently you don't even need explosive ammo to kill your mines.
You're such a sod.
I'm not the one who allowed
Love
it
you
to
to bits,
die.
but you're still a sod.
Thank you. Now, if you upgraded the legendary bow with a fortified grip, it was not using any stamina on the secondary click, which is like the more charged shooting or something. That has been fixed. It now does use stamina. Fixed composition, quest spelling, chemistry for the grammar Nazis among us, like me. Let's quickly go through them. Any more interesting stuff here? Fixed stamina regen per minute stat value displaying incorrectly as it was being divided by 1000 instead of 60. Yeah. So you start in a region X amount per second. 600 per second means 10 per minute and not 0.6 per minute. And let's see, anything more interesting here? Ice mammoth area, talked about this one. Ice mammoth area removes collision on many of the lower hanging icicles. Fix a bug where sometimes the medium slug from the hammerhead slug would not spawn small slugs on dedicated servers cause of animation interruption. We fix now. Oh, this one we just talked about, the in-world boss respawn timers fix. Let's see. Full water, fixed water containers bigger than 100 liters, the 150 liter ones, not fully emptying when using the empty container function. Oh, so you had to empty it twice. Well, at least it's been emptied in one go now. Sandworm building material, which is basically wood with a slightly different mesh. They increased the storm damage, the tier to match stone. Good. So it's no longer the wood, but the stone storm resistance. We like that. We talked about the accidental Galileo feature lock on achievements, which has been removed now. Double weekend stats and banner have now been removed, so no longer double experience. Well, double XP weekend, it lasted an entire week, but okay. This is an important one for a lot of people. Fixed a case where mounts could be destroyed if the player was riding one while they crashed or were kicked. I've had it a couple of times as well, where the game crashed whilst I was riding my mount, and then I just spawned a slight distance away from my mount, like I don't know, 30, 40, 50 feet away from the mount. But I never lost a mount because of this. However, there have been plenty of people who actually lost their mount because of this.
Yeah,
This has
that's
now been
not good.
fixed. That's very good.
Good.
And let's see what else is important. Updated NPC stabilization quests to also complete when the NPC is no longer valid, to ensure that if they are collected, the quest is actually complete, so it's not gonna block your quest. This one we talked about, and it's a very big one for us. Fix the issue where explosive rounds were not getting cleaned up properly, potentially, actually, causing massive performance issues over a play session. I'm very glad they fixed that one. Very, very glad. That mounts with items in inventory now persist between game reloads. Talked about that. Let's check some future content. Let's see what's in here noteworthy. I there were a couple of things. When I quickly skimmed through them earlier today, that were actually worth looking at. Oh, an illumination payload around for the sniper rifle. Work in process still, but are we getting like tracer rounds? That would be fun. Okay. On vision level. To be currently set to be field guide blacklisted because it's still work in progress, obviously. Adding in light insect loops. So I reckon this is gonna be for Elysium, the new level. I'm gonna get like fireflies. Would be good. Would be cool.
Hmm.
Adding the tundra biome audio, adding night and day insects, day birds. Yeah, that's cool. So we gonna get finally getting like different animals during the day or during the night. I mean, you kinda had it with the kiwis, which spawned at night but still were walking around during daytime for a certain period of time. But yeah, this only creature I would say currently in the game which is like nocturnal. Cool. I'm gonna have like daybirds. As soon as the sun goes down, you no longer see those. Specific day and night. That's nice. It will add to the immersion though. We're getting a worm queen. Worm, isn't that like a dragon? And I did see something about wings on the worm queen. So gonna be a very interesting animal. Sorry about that. So, new material. Oil. Oil geyser and a pump jack for crude oil extraction, which can be refined into refined oil. It's the ability to have crude oil networks. Ooh, refined oil flows. Cool, so you can make like a fuel network. You don't have to like run back and forth with cans of fuel. You can make entire networks. That's gonna be nice.
Yep, that's going to be way better.
Set up polymerizer with outputs of epoxy, plastic, synthetics, compounds. Well, epoxy we know. Plastic, new. Synthetics, new. Compounds, might be composites, but I think it's new as well. Nice. Yet another new animal called a slinker. A slinker was having mention of wings. Slinker being a uh, new animal as well. Uranium.
Ooh.
Turn raw uranium into rods and inert ingots. Ooh. Uranium collection device is either like an ice borer, I think, or uranium node. It might be like exotics extractor. We
Could
get
be.
uranium. I mean, it could be an enzyme geyser where you can put an ice borer on to get water, which will mean it's a fixed position of the node, like fixed nodes. Or if it's like it's supposed to be like rare, then it's gonna be following the exotic veins, which like only a few simultaneously in the world, and you have to go find them because they can be random anywhere 3 out of 150 possible locations. I wonder which of the ones it will be. Also, uranium. Are we gonna use it for power generation? Nuclear reactors? Or are we gonna use the inert uranium ingots for, I don't know, armor piercing ammo?
Yeah, ammo would be interesting.
Currently you make,
Radioactive ammo, that would be good. I wonder if the animals are going to glow when they get shot.
if you wanna have them glow, just shoot a flare arrow up there, you know what. We did this with a mammoth back in the day.
Yep, we certainly did. Worked really well at night.
Currently you make the armor piercing ammo with normal normal ammo and titanium platinum sheath. Sorry. Let's see if this goes better. Yeah, depleted uranium for armor piercing ammo.
Yeah.
Anyway, more slinker creature. New animation for the Worm Queen. Updated shaded use opacity and map for the wing cutouts. Worm Queen wings. Yeah, I'm saying flying dragon.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah. Beach. Adding beach assets, ambience and creatures. Ready for use within island outposts map. So we're getting an outpost with like outpost specific biome beach. Biome-ish. Assets and creatures. Cool. Alrighty. Explosive and incendiary 12.7 rounds. I think this is for the anti-material rifle. Icons
Yep.
for it. This one's basically those two combined. But yeah, this is Patchnotes. I'd say we take a 50-minute break, and so I can get a quick smoke and prepare the next stream. Now we're gonna be back with Prometheus gameplay for going for the Rime Tusk.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll send to you, Carl. Assuming he's still there and hasn't fallen asleep.
He might be AFK.
Yeah. Well, he didn't object, so I'd say we're gonna take a 15-minute break and then we will be back with some gameplay.
Alrighty,
We'll be
now.
in a new stream, so I'll be back with you in a sec, Echo.
Well, we'll see everybody then.
Yeah. So yeah, those were the patch notes. We go through them weekly, so you don't have to. And hopefully it's better readable now, by the way. Do leave me a comment. What do you prefer? Like, I've done it until now with like the smaller text, but more lines, or the bigger text, better readable. Like I said, do leave me a comment which one you prefer. Other than that, thanks for being here. I hope you folks had a good time. Really appreciate you being here. And I hope I will see you folks around.